I don't want you to feel like I'm holding you against your will.
No, no. Well, I mean, you've already volunteered your time, so it's not holding me against the will or against my will. You've set your time aside, so I'm going to respect that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Uh, Hello everyone, and welcome to the KMWP 2.0. I am Kris. That is Matt, and we're gonna talk some wrestling, and of course, talk about the Lions' big victory last Sunday, and whatever else comes to mind. Um, so yeah. Before we get started, though, please leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. musicandmoonsaults.com is where you can go to find that quick and easy. And yeah, so how we doing, Matt?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing well. It's been a busy week, an exciting week. Looking forward to the next week and a half or so. So it's a pretty good time right now.
Yeah,
I realized today we're going to get two Lions games in the next 7 days. So I was like, "Ooh, buddy."
yeah, yeah. So they should win both. So we'll be great times, but we'll get there. We'll get there. First, let's take care of the wrestling. Um, there's a big pape this weekend.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. Did you intentionally call it full diaper in your text, or was that
Absolutely.
okay?
Absolutely.
All
That's exactly what this show is. A steaming full diaper, if you ask me.
right. All right. There's one match that I'm like, I really want to see that, and then the rest of it, I don't really care.
Except for if I had to guess, it's a match we just saw like 3 weeks ago,
I didn't see
four
it because
weeks
I
ago.
didn't get that pay per view. So
I gave you my login for it.
did I watch that pay per view or did I not? I don't even remember anymore. I know I watched all in. I watched no. Yeah, I watched the UK one. I don't think I watched the Chicago one. I didn't watch All Out. Or wait, Russell
No,
Dream.
I'm talking about
Yeah,
Wrestle
that was
Dream.
Russell Dream.
I assume the match you're talking about is Swerve versus Hangman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Wrestle Dream.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. I think I don't remember if I ended up watching that or not. To be honest,
I thought you did because I have this recollection of you and I texting about it.
I probably did, but
It
who?
was so good you couldn't forget it, and 3 weeks later you're foaming at the mouth for the rematch. It was that good, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, good.
You know what? No, now that I think about it, I did watch it. I did watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you texted me the next day and you were talking about how that was the best match on the card, and I
Oh,
was like, yeah,
well, yeah.
Brian and Saber might have been better technically, but I think yeah,
Sure. Sure.
in terms of what you and I talked about of like having a good wrestling match and having a story, it was the best match on the card.
Right.
But just as a technical exhibition, Brian and Saber was.
Oh, sure. Um. So yeah, let's just we'll just run through this. There's 9 matches. It looks like 8 of them on the main show, one on the pre-show. I'm sure Tony will add like 3 more to the pre-show between now and Saturday. Um, but this is what we got right now. So we got MJF and partner TBA defending those coveted Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships against the Guns. Guns up, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming this is going to be Samoa Joe, right? That's kind of what they've been leaning towards. And then I guess MJF and whoever the partner is retain. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it all I guess it all depends on how long Cole's going to be out. Cuz that's the only reason why to keep him on him is if Cole's going to be back relatively soon, so you can finish playing that out. But other than that, like just take the belts off of him and move on. But
Well, I mean, going back to our conversation last week, because everyone thought like, oh, hey, we're gonna have Joe drop the belt at Final Battle, and we're gonna have Eddie drop the belt and all that. Like, if you want to hold on for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, wouldn't it make more sense to have MJF on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view defending that title and then lose it? That's the only thing that keeps taking me back is it would make sense for them to want to put MJF on the card because he might realistically add a few thousand buys to the show just by saying MJF's going to be there.
You mean subscriptions?
Or subscriptions. What, you know what I meant. Yeah, subscriptions.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But I just put them on the guns.
I would see. I feel like the guns are above that.
True.
Like they don't need to be the
Ring of
the
Honor.
second tier. Yeah, they don't need to be the second tier tag team champions right now. They're better off without those belts, in my opinion.
True. That's very fair. Now we get into the main card. We've got the first title match. This probably isn't in order, but whatever. It's the order according to Wikipedia, so we'll go with that. Hikaru Shida defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Timeless Toni Storm with Luther.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah, it's Luther.
Yeah. I know everyone's leaning or gonna say because Toni Storm's on this character is taken off. I think Sheeta's gonna retain.
I think
just because she just got the belt, she's the better wrestler of the two.
Well, I can't remember where. It might have been Joel and Jeremy, but I can't remember who said it, and it makes a lot of sense. It's like the whole reason. Yeah, this Toni Storm character is working out great, but the whole reason why she got into this character, what caused this thing to happen, was her losing the title. So if she gets it back, like that kind of, and I think they got something else for Toni to do. They seem to be doing the variation on the Trish Mickie James story with Mariah May, who they just signed. So I think they got something else for Toni to do coming out of this.
Right.
And you could, there's allegedly a big signing being announced on Saturday, and people have, I think people have all but decided that it's Mercedes. I'm not so sure. But that's what everyone. Well, it's got to be Mercedes. Who else could it be at this point? And it's like, well, you obviously don't know Tony Khan.
Yeah, right. I mean, the fact, not to get off topic, but the fact that they've been flirting with Kota Ibushi for 5 years now, and they finally sign him, and it's like an under the radar, just not even that big of a deal announcement. Like, he could say it's someone that the entire AEW audience is going to respect, and it could be Dolph, And sure, that's true, but I don't think anyone's going to be super excited if it's Dolph Ziggler. But in his mind, that could be a big time get for AEW.
I don't think it's going to be Dolph because I don't think his non-compete is.
No, but my point is like when he was like, "Oh, we've got this major signing," and then they brought out Christian, and it's like, well, okay. I guess. Yeah, I get he's a legacy in the business. He's undeniably like.
3 years later, that doesn't seem like the letdown that it was when it happened.
But even now, as good as Christian has been, he's not like a big time draw. He's not the face. He's not in your discussion as face of the company. No one's tuning in to see the Christian segments every week as a casual.
Right. Sure. Speaking of the aforementioned Christian Cage, we have Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland with Ric Flair versus Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne in a 6-man tag team match.
This match brought to you by Monday Night Raw 2004.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I guess the good guys win.
I mean, doesn't it make sense?
Yeah.
You don't want Sting's goodbye. Edge has to get the win. That way he can go after Christian, right?
Unless they swerve, bro, and Adam turns on Sting and Darby and joins Christian.
Which would actually be like, I would be all for, because I know he's your guy, but what I've seen so far, I haven't been impressed at all. Like,
right,
with Edge since he's come back, or since he's debuted there.
Sure.
It's the corny babyface promo, that cringy segment with him and Ricky, where like you can tell he's trying. Oh, I can shoot from the hip now, brother, and I don't know. I haven't really been entertained by it at all.
Right. No, I can't argue with any of that. So.
And if it gets him away from the Sting and Darby team, and maybe leads to him doing something away from them, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah. I just go back to they got put in a rough spot. Well, let me rephrase that. They didn't get put in a rough spot. The timing just wasn't ideal for him coming in, for what people want and what they want and where everyone's at, you know. There's no way you were going to be able to bring him in as a heel right off the bat, because of who he is, and, you know, he's a legacy act, so people are going to cheer for him, at least to start. And with Christian, where he's at right now, you couldn't necessarily just go ahead and flip him babyface and put them together that way. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But
no, I'm going good guys win. It makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's probably the safe bet. So, next we have Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley for the AEW International Championship.
Should be a really good match again.
Time is a flat circle. We're just
and this is why, like I said, it's full diaper, because there's nothing about this show that I'm super intrigued about. You know, Moxley already beat him. The only reason Cassidy got the belt back is because Mox got hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, either way, it's if Orange wins it, it's another case of Moxley getting hurt, Moxley like losing momentum because he gets hurt, or, you know, went to rehab or whatever. And you how much nicer would it have been if Cassidy just held the belt all the way through this time?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think either scenario is a win here. I would have waited a few months to do the rematch again. Maybe let Orange go on another run where it's like, right, he's done it again, but can he beat Moxley? But it'll be a good match. Yeah. I think Cassidy's probably going to win, so they can set up a rubber match down the road.
Yeah, could be. I'm going to say Moxley wins, just because looking at all the other title matches on the show, and I don't really see, you know, don't see a whole lot changing, so I could see them switching this title.
They do like to flip belt at pay-per-views too, so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Then we have Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana for the in a Texas Death Match. So
yeah, like you said, that's the match. This is probably going to be the best match on the show.
yeah,
You know what? I shouldn't say that, but this will be a really good match. Of all the matches on the card, this is the one where I'm the least worried about it delivering in the ring. Just put it like that.
right.
Um, good.
Hangman had a really good promo last night on Dynamite. So yeah, I don't know. I'm the I don't know. The in between from the last pay per view to this has been a little. Wait, we're doing that? We're still doing this? Okay. But overall, I think it's been a solid feud. So I'm interested to see who comes out of this one on top. I'm gonna say Hangman because Swerve won the first one, right?
Yeah, and it's a Texas Death Match,
Right.
and Hangman. Like, I think they're gonna lock this in as like his specialty match.
Yeah, and like with probably shouldn't have the babyface lose when the heel broke into his home
and assaulted his family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and see, like, that's, you said it, man. The in between, this feud didn't need that stupidity. There's like, I'm not saying a segment like that doesn't work, but this one didn't need it.
Shout
It
out
had
Randy
enough.
Orton and Triple H.
Right. We just let Brian Pillman's kid go. Let's steal his dad's bit now.
Right.
There was enough buzz and enough hype behind this match coming out of the last one. You didn't need anything to spike it. You just needed to do one thing in the ring. A disrespectful act there, but whatever.
Yeah.
I love Hangman's trying to be cool. How he's gonna steal Nana's weed, and Hangman gets to talk about pot on the air. I didn't think everyone was. That's the Hangman that we know and love. I didn't think that promo was that good at all, because all it was like stuff from Swerve's personal life that if you don't know about, you're like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know Swerve's kids don't talk to him. Like, and hearing that, it gave me sympathy for the bad guy. Like, even though he's a bad person, like, that sucks. His kids don't talk to him. That's awful.
Because he's a bad guy.
Yeah, whatever.
Next we have the Golden Jets, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, taking on the Young Bucks. And if Omega and Jericho win, they take over the Bucks tag team title match that they have. And if the Bucks win, then Jericho and Omega disband.
Brilliant.
I got nothing.
Booker of the year. Outstanding job, gentlemen. Good work coming up with a match out of your ass 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. Fantastic. Yeah, it's beyond stupid to me. It's everything. You have spent 6 months of my fucking life making me watch Kenny Omega and Don Callis, and then at the pay-per-view, you're going to do a tag match between 4 guys that have had nothing going on with each other up until 280 hours ago or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you're gonna blow off another match in the Omega's Callis thing on Dynamite 4 nights before the pay-per-view. It's I don't know if this is a Tony Khan idea, because if it's a Tony Khan idea, that's pathetic. And if it's a Young Bucks Omega Elite thing with Jericho, like, these guys, someone needs to reel these guys in, because this shit is going on way too long. I am so sick of the same fucking story every 6 months out of the Young Bucks. It's maddening. Mm-hmm. Like, absolutely maddening. I have fully joined the Young Bucks are awful crowd. Like, I didn't watch their match last night. I skipped right through it. It's the same. They've been doing the same shit since 2017. I'm just bored with it. I'm so over it. How do we go as the potential match to FTR and the Bucks again, to a random pairing of Omega and Jericho. You just signed Kota Ibushi. You want to get mad at Omega about not sticking with the Elite? Do the Golden Lovers versus the Bucks and introduce Ibushi properly to this audience, for the people that don't know who he is, instead of giving us flabby Jericho out there. And the stipulation or the stakes of this match make no sense. Why would the Bucks give a shit if Omega and Jericho ever tag together again? Clearly, that's not going to go on for. Why would you give up a tag team title shot to break that up? Like, it just, the whole thing makes no freaking sense to me.
They don't like Jericho. If it was Ibushi, there wouldn't be an issue.
Okay, but again, like, how many times are we going to do this thing where the Bucks are upset at people in their own faction, sure. and like, just
sure.
Oh, and you know what? And that, to that point, it's the dumbest goddamn thing. Like, how stupid is Kenny Omega? Of all the people in the company you're going to trust, Jericho, like, that when the Bucks made that point a couple weeks ago, that killed the whole angle. Like, it just makes Kenny look stupid.
Right.
Why would he fight with Jericho when he's got people that have had his back for over a decade in his corner willing to fight for him? It's just stupid. It's stupid. That's what I say. If it's a Tony Khan idea, he should be ashamed of himself. And if it's the other three buffoons, it just proves that they've got way too much say over what they're doing, because it's a terrible idea.
Right. Yeah.
Where's the Fightful kid to be sorting this shit out and be like, this doesn't make any sense, guys? I'm going to live on that forever. They hired a guy who's supposed to keep their storylines intact.
I agree. And it's worse. And I'm not
significantly.
I'm not saying it's like his fault, because he's not the only one that they brought in. Like,
right.
They brought in Jimmy Jacobs too. Like, they've brought in people, and it just somehow it's gotten worse, which doesn't seem possible, but it has. So
sure has.
But yeah, I got no read on that one. It could go either way. Buck should.
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Bucks probably win though. Because the last thing I want to see is Kenny and Jericho going for the tag team titles.
Right, like, fucking, oh my god, I've dropped more F-bombs in the last 5 minutes than I have in like the last 5 weeks.
All right,
but like, if you're real quick, if you're gonna do the fracture in the Elite, give us Kenny and Hangman versus the Bucks too. Give us the repeat of the greatest tag team match of all time. Like, come on.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry. Moving on. Let's move on to the 4-way tag match that we threw together in the last week.
Okay, we can go to that one. The 4-way.
I'm really salty about this pay-per-view. I'm sorry.
Dude, I get it. We got a 4-way, as you said, for the AEW World Tag Team titles. We've got Ricky Starks and Big Bill, the champions, and they're defending against Roosh and Drilistico, FTR, and Malachi and Brody King.
4-way tag matches are always kind of a cluster.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I really think they work is in Japan and in Mexico when they do the lightweights, and it's just full-blown chaos. But considering who's working in this match, it'll probably be pretty good. I mean, that's
sure. Well, look, we say that. I'm sure coming out of this pay-per-view, the general consensus was, wow, that was a really good pay-per-view. All the matches were really good. And as we've said multiple times on this show, like, that's great. But if you're asking me to plop down $50, I need more than that.
Right. It's especially when 4-star matches are like a dime a dozen now. You can see a great match, and I've said this before, but it's not just AEW. You can watch any company you turn on right now. TNA is putting on bangers. right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see a great match everywhere. It's the rest of the stuff and the fact that like FTR is being wasted in a 4-way tag match, and we're not getting Ricky and Bill, like they're not getting a real shot to prove like, hey, maybe these guys might be something here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in a way, Ricky is kind of like Enzo, but he's not as like dipshit about it outside of the ring, right? So
Yeah.
like that combination could work really well, but they're just going to get lost in the shuffle with 4 other guys that are going to be in the ring.
Right. I yeah. I've been high on Ricky, you know that, and Big Bill has really turned not just his wrestling, but his life he's turned that around. Like, so shout out to him.
Because isn't Ricky's contract up like fairly soon? Isn't that the
sometime
scuttlebutt
next year? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Ricky's staying. I think he's bye bye to Cody's tour bus.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's a part of me that really wants to see Enzo and Bill end up together again, just to see if it can work again without the chaos of the way WWE handles things.
Right.
Because man, they were money back in the day.
I really wish Ring of Honor wouldn't have tried to work New Japan with that whole thing at the MSG show.
Yeah.
I wish that would have worked out. But
yep.
Again, I got no read on this one either.
I'll tell you who I want. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Who do you want to win?
I'd like to see Malachi and Brody win, and I'd like to see them get a little run with the tag belts.
That would be fun. I mean, just looking. I mean, if you look at the stipulation of the last match we talked, like the Bucks win, you gotta think FTR. You know, you gotta think running that back. If Kenny and Kris win, does it matter?
No, because if they win, then I just assume Callis is going to interfere and cost them the match.
Right.
Or Callis could interfere in that match on Saturday, and that's how they continue it. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, when in doubt, I guess just go with FTR. So that's what I'm going to say.
I think realistically, Ricky and Bill are going to retain.
I'd like that to happen, to be honest. It sucks that they're pretty much on Collision exclusively because I don't watch Collision. So I'd like to.
Neither does anybody else, apparently.
Yeah.
Funny how. Well, I mean, funny how the face of the program gets the old boot ski and the ratings plummet. Funny how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I got a feeling they probably wouldn't have held up regardless against college football. They'd probably be pretty close to where they're at right now. The only time that they're really down is when they're up against the WWE pay-per-view.
I think if Philip were around, the ratings would have been pretty consistent around what they started at.
Maybe. We'll never know. And well, maybe we will. Maybe he's the devil. He'd like to think. He'd like you for you to believe that he is.
I love it. It's whatever.
Hey, go off, man.
Either way, if he's the devil in AEW, it's going to be one of the most unbelievably well done like secrets in the history of the business. And if he's not, and he goes back to New York, like that's going to be huge too. Like it's a win-win for old Phil right now. And even if he doesn't, all he's going to do is build more hype for himself. Like he's going to go back somewhere, right?
Yeah, eventually. They actually got 2 women's matches on a pay-per-view. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah. We've got Chris Statlander defending her TBS championship against Julia Hart and Sky Blue in a triple threat match.
Yeah.
We'll go with Julia
Two
Hart
women.
here.
Yeah,
Julia
you think
Hart,
so?
and then Malachi and Brody win the tag titles. Let's do that.
Yeah, okay. I still have a hard time believing Statlander's going to lose, especially to either one of those two, because who she beat to win the belt was kind of a big deal. I feel like they're going to try to get some legs out of it. But you could be right.
I just think that they're running out of people for her to, they're running into the same problem they had with Jade. They're running out of people for her to face.
Yeah, it seems it's almost like they should
cycled through pretty much everyone at least once. So
it's almost like they shouldn't have 3 women's titles rotating among their 2 companies when they've got 15 women that have any sort of like belonging on national TV right now. Like, it's
the best out of all of them is never on TV people watch.
Right.
By all accounts, Athena's killing it on Ring of Honor, but she's stuck there.
They used her for a cup of coffee on Dynamite and kicked her to the side for all these other women that none of them have panned out. Like, that's frustrating.
That's why, look, if maybe they are bringing in Mercedes. If they are, God bless them. If I'm her, no. Like, why? You're going to run into the exact same issues why you walked out of WWE in the first place.
And 6 months after she's there, who else is there for her to work? That's going to be a draw. That's going to command, like, hey, they actually need TV time and they deserve TV time because these are 2 women it's Britt, maybe Jamie, and then after that, what do you have?
Right.
Your biggest star, just your actual biggest star in the division, just walked out the door.
I was going to say that the one everyone wanted her to.
That was the match.
Yeah,
and they missed it.
Yep. Typical. So, but yeah, if I'm her, I wouldn't go there. But
no, if I'm her, I continue to build my name for the next 6 months or so, and then go get a big fat check from TKO.
Yeah. And then the main event, we got MJF defending the AEW title that he hasn't had in his possession for like 2 months against Jay White. Your favorite.
Yeah. Yep. So this is why earlier I said, well, it won't automatically, Swerve and Hangman won't automatically be the best match on the card, because at this point you have to take MJF as a legit, like, he's among the best in the ring in North America right now. And look, I don't like Jay White, but you can't say he can't go.
Yeah.
So this could be a really good match. I hope it doesn't get heavy into the outside interference. I feel like it will. I know a lot of people are, we're going to find out who the devil is. I don't think we find out who the devil is until the next pay-per-view. If that, it might be real interesting if MJF they're trying to figure out, where's he signing, and this devil character is still roaming around, how that plays out. So,
yeah.
I think MJF wins. I hope it's a really good match.
I don't think you got to worry about that. I think the match is going to be solid. Better than solid.
I think, well, for me, I'm always I don't care how good the first 25 minutes are, if the last 2.5 minutes are gaga bullshit bloodline stuff, that's where I'm like, okay, I'm out. Like, right. I can't. It never sits well with me when a match ends like that. Very rarely, I should say.
Right. So, anyhow, that's the Full Gear preview. Yeah. So, It's a show where if they were showing it in the theaters, I'd probably go because I'll be by myself that night. But otherwise, I'm not. Probably won't watch
Yeah,
it.
like I wouldn't be opposed to splitting it with you, but even then, I'm like, if I don't feel like I need to,
Yeah, I don't even know
I
if I
don't.
want to spend $25 on it, let alone,
Right,
you know.
right.
So
That's what I mean.
yeah,
That's it's like I don't feel like I'm gonna miss it. I do know, like the last time I was on the Fight app, like Forbidden Door and Revolution from this year are now only $20. So I think I'm gonna plot down the 20 and pick those up. Because I mean I still want to see Okada and Danielson or have that
yeah,
copy of it so I can watch it
yeah.
whenever I want.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since we're getting number 2 at the Tokyo Dome.
Yes, we are. And his crazy ass is coming back to do a mini G1.
Yeah, which I've been waiting for them to do, but considering the way this company's been run lately, like I'm not super excited to see what happens now. But
Right.
whatever.
Um, over in WWE land, we've got heading into War Games. We got, of course, at Crown Jewel, Kairi Sane made her return and has joined Damage Control, and she's not the only one. Last week on Friday, Asuka made the jump, and she's part of Damage Control now. So at least we're gonna go four on four, because Dakota's still
Oh
hurt.
man, that's gonna end really bad for Bailey, isn't it?
Yes, yes, and that's gonna be interesting over the next few months.
I didn't know Asuka joined Damage Control. I'm like,
Yes.
wait, why would that? And then I'm like, Kyrie, oh shit.
So it's
That's where they're going with this whole Bailey thing.
And
Good.
look, Bailey's been Bailey was incredible on Friday on SmackDown, because she's like, hey, EO, I thought we had a plan. Why didn't you tell me about Kyrie coming in? And she's like, plus, need I remind you, the last time Kyrie was here, like, I kind of took her out, so I'm a little bit nervous here. And they're all like, no. We, Kyrie's like,
Bygones.
I respect you, Bailey, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. And then so it ended up a 6-woman tag for the main event of SmackDown. Io, Kyrie, and Bailey versus Charlotte, Bianca, and Asuka. And Asuka didn't get in the match. She was finally getting ready to make the hot tag from Bianca, and she ended up spitting the mist in her face instead. And then they beat down Bianca and Charlotte, and then Shotzi ran down and they beat her up too. And you like Bailey's like, you can tell she's like looking over her shoulder. Oh,
right.
that the best part of the promo was when they all go to hug her, and she's like, no, I don't do that anymore.
That's awesome.
They gave her the big group hug anyway, but yeah. But I'm assuming they're going to announce the Women's War Games tomorrow night on SmackDown. Seeing as it looks like the men's match is going to be 5-on-5, I just don't know who on the roster. We'll get there. I just don't know, who else on the SmackDown roster they could bring in to be on the heel side. I guess that maybe they could pull someone up from NXT, maybe. But it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to see how they set this up on their end for that. And then on Raw, we get the big main event tag team rematch, and Adam Pearce had banned everyone else from the building involved.
Anyone involved in War Games,
everyone
right?
involved in War Games was banned from the building. That wasn't in the tag team title match. which then led to Drew showing up and delivering a Claymore to Jay Uso and costing them the match, a chance at regaining those titles. And then he goes up to the top of the ramp, and out comes Mommy and shakes her hand. And so it looks like we got Drew joining up with Judgment Day for War Games. Probably.
Yeah.
And so where were they at? I don't remember where they were at on Monday. But after, I don't know if you saw, after the show, Cody got on the mic.
Yeah.
He said something like, we've got friends too. And
wonder what that means.
Right. And I was half expecting, the Punk chants.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't there. They were all chanting for Randy. So, which I think is the likely scenario here, is that Randy shows up and joins Team Cody.
Yeah. I don't give a shit either way.
Fair enough.
Sorry. Like, I just the War Game, I said it last week, the War Games match has kind of played out to me.
Right.
So, like, I'm not, to me, all the intrigue is who's the fifth man, and if it's Randy, like, yeah, great, Randy Orton's back. But
congratulations, you're back from a year and a half with a severe back injury. You get thrown into War Games.
Yeah, right. Well, and also, like, not to hammer the guy, but this isn't like the first time Randy's missed time and then come back. Yeah, it's been a really long time, but yeah. I guess my thing is, like, what do you even do with Randy Orton? Like, you can do anything with him because he's Randy Orton, but whose spot is he taking that is on the rise or getting more time because of Randy Orton hasn't been?
I don't know. Not really. I don't think really anybody. I mean, maybe. I mean, obviously, I guess somebody in theory, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Priest has to cash in. Like, if it were me, I'd have a scenario where they've got Seth at the maybe it's they're doing the match on Monday to determine who gets the advantage. Please don't get cute with it. Just give the heels the advantage. That's the only way this match works. Is if you, I know it happens every time. Oh my God, how do the heels keep winning the coin toss? It's a miracle. Don't give a shit. It's one of those things that you just have to do. With the baby faces get the advantage, it makes zero fucking sense.
Well, I don't think it doesn't make sense. It just changes the flow of the match. Because realistically, if there is a coin toss for every one of these matches, like, the statistical anomaly that it would be that it has happened that way forever, like, the faces would have got it at least a few times. So
right. I don't know. It just whenever the baby faces get the advantage, it always, because that's part of it. Like, you need the sympathy of, they're always out.
Unless the story is, look at the heels getting their comeuppance, getting what they deserve.
Sure, I guess. I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. But if it were me, I'd have Seth start the match out, maybe with Finn, and then if Team Judgment Day gets the advantage, then I would have Priest come in, and I'd have him bring a referee into the cage, even though it's not time yet, and cash in. Have a kind of a match with it. It might be a little convoluted, but I don't know. It would. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't you if you were him?
Okay, so hear me out.
Yeah.
We're going to get weird with this. All right. So they bring the referee in, right? He brings in a referee, and He's trying to cash in. What if Seth is able to hold out for the 5 minutes, and then the rest of the entire match, Priest is just worried. I gotta get Seth. I can't mess with Sami Zayn right now. I've got to go get Seth.
Yeah.
The whole match is all about that. The good guys win. They're leaving or whatever, and Seth's the last one out, and the door gets shut, and he gets locked, and he's locked in there. Oh no. The match between Damian and Seth never ended.
Yeah, I like it. So,
hell, you could even do that just in the last 10 minutes of it.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be. I just thought if you did it when it's a 2-on-1, then because if there's any more than one person in there, then you kind of that second person can try and help out as best as he can.
Right.
You know? But you could.
That's what I mean. Then if the whole match is like there's 2 matches going on, you can have Cole on commentary, and don't forget Damian Priest is cashed in, blah blah blah. So like, it would be that would be interesting as hell.
Yeah, but so we'll see. We'll see what.
And then the devil shows his true colors in his hometown and sticks it to old Sethy boy. That's it. The good guys are leaving. They're all celebrating. Sammy, Cody, and Jay walk out first. Then Punk is walking out. Then Seth goes to step through, and he smashes him with the door. Boom. I love it. He gets the babyface welcome when he comes back, and then he gets the heel heat when he leaves. Book it.
Sure. That could work.
That would be terrible. Like in real, it would be terrible. But
I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it. I already told the wife, hey, that Saturday after Thanksgiving, I'm pretty much all day.
I'm booked.
You might have like a 3-hour window in the middle of the day, but that's about it.
Yeah. So. Unless things go sour at the 12:30 kickoff. Or the 12 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah. But
that's how I felt this past Sunday. Can we get into it now?
Let's get into it.
You made me bullshit with wrestling for 54 minutes.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
The Sunday, that's how I felt. I'm like, man, once they were in it late, I'm like, if they blow this, I'm going to be such an ornery bastard for the next couple days.
Yeah. Well, especially so the second half of that game, I was in quite a bit of pain. So halftime comes, right? I'm watching the game. Halftime comes. The wife's making dinner. I'm playing with the boy. We're running around the house, whatnot. He likes to just run back and forth down the hallway, chasing each other.
Yeah.
So I run down the hall into our bedroom, and he's down in the living room, and he's getting ready to turn to chase after me. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go hide, in the closet or something like that. Well, the way their bedroom is, you walk in, there's like a little where the closets are here, and then you go around, and there's my side of the bed with the closets, and then the other side. And on each side of the bed, there's a register in the floor. Well, specifically the one on my side doesn't like to stay. And so I went, and of course I was barefoot because why not? And so I caught the corner of the register in between my nail and the toe on my yeah.
That had to hurt so much. Like, not physical pain, but just the nagging, stinging is like, son of a bitch, make this go away.
Oh, yeah. It was awful. All Sunday, it was awful. I was like, I hobbled down, and I'm like, I look down, and I'm like, oh, I'm bleeding. Cool. So I get on she's like, don't bleed on the carpet. I'm like, all right, I'm getting there.
It's always the wife response. Like,
So we got the little linoleum part right by the front door. So I go there and I stand, and it's just because I'm standing, it's just pooling, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
She comes over. She goes, just sit down. Once you get it off your feet, it'll die down. I'm like, okay. So yeah, she patches me up, and then I'm just sitting, my foot up on the couch the rest of the game, and I'm like into the game, but still I'm just
Oh.
yeah. So yeah, that was my experience. But yeah, they win a shootout, baby.
Yeah, and then I said I was like, man, if they lose this, I'm going to be pretty ornery. But I never, I feel like they've turned that corner where I was like, I never felt like, oh, they're going to lose this game, because every time they needed to respond, they did,
Mm-hmm.
and they were never in a position where they weren't going to have the ball and a chance to win the game. So I was like, man, I like afterwards reflecting, I'm like, man, they've really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I believe in this team now. This is crazy.
It feels like, with the exception of the Baltimore game, obviously, it seems like, though, whatever isn't working, the rest of the team picks up the slack.
Yeah.
Like, if the offense isn't humming most of the time, the defense will step up. If the defense is having a hard time stopping anyone, Goff and the boys are lighting it up and keeping them in the game. So
Right.
Yeah, it's just it was a fun game to watch. Like, aside from the little anxiety there, the last few minutes of the fourth quarter there, where it's like, if whether we score or not here, if San Diego, if the Chargers get the ball back, like, that might not be good.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look, Dan, MCDC, baby, balls of steel. Like, 4th and 2. Let's do it. Like,
yeah,
man, look,
he
realistically
was
speaking,
Randy Marsh with the balls in the wheelbarrow that game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's, you live that way, you're gonna die that way too. At
Sure.
some point, we've got to, but you've got to be okay with and learn to deal with it. You can't praise him now and then second guess him down the road when it doesn't work. Look, 2 years ago, people were second guessing this behavior, but he's like, look, I've got a team full of guys here that are busting their ass. We recognize we're not good enough. Like, we have to go for it. We can't play scared football. And he's still that guy, and his team is good enough if he wants to, but he's still got that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we just have to be okay with it.
I think it was the first fourth down that they went for. There was the 4th and 6, and they ran a draw play
And they
and
hand
picked
it
it
off.
up with ease.
Yeah, I someone on Twitter said that that's the first time anyone's done that in like 20 years or something. A 4th and 6 run play. So,
my favorite tidbit story from the game that I'm sure you've read and heard about, but the 75-yarder from Montgomery, like, they had the wrong personnel on the field.
yeah.
They called
Yep.
a play that St. Brown was the one who was like, I'm not supposed to be out here for this play.
Yeah, right.
And they're
Right.
like, all right,
And
well, just check into a run or something.
yeah.
Let's not burn a timeout. Let's check into something else. And then it ended up being going for 75-yard run.
I didn't know David Montgomery had those moves. I knew he could run. I knew he could make guys miss. Look, it wasn't hyperbole. Like, that looked like Barry. That
Mm-hmm.
was a Barry Sanders juke. And one of my favorite parts about it was the timing on the broadcast of them talking about the Lakers Pistons rivalry.
Yes.
And as he's breaking it, Jim Nance is like, maybe a little showtime of his own out of Montgomery. Like, that just added to the run. But man, that cutback, and then he made those two defenders hit each other.
Mm-hmm.
That was a thing of beauty.
JMO had not one but 2 big blocks on that run too. He had the initial one, and then he's flying down past Montgomery to take out another guy.
And it had to slow down. He he got past everyone and had to slow down to let them to set the block. Like, look, man, I've been a critic. I still am a critic. I still don't think he's proven anything like to be worthy of where he was taken. They're saying the team's getting more confident doing stuff like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
He can play. Like I'm gonna ignore the other stuff a little longer when you
Right.
see him working like that, right?
Yeah.
So
And look,
it's
he had a touchdown that got called back.
that was a bullshit call too. That was a
No,
bullshit call.
there were a couple of those. That stretch where they had Chargers ran like 8 plays within the 10, like the bailout they got on 4th down or whatever it was.
Yep.
But whatever, we won the game, so on to Chicago.
Yep. 9.5-point favorites, right?
Sure, that sounds right.
That was the last I saw. I know it sounds like old what's his name's going to be back.
Fields.
Yeah, it looks like he might play. So
that's fine. It's probably better for us, to be honest, even though the whole mobile quarterback thing isn't our strong suit as far as defending, but you make him throw the ball, I like our chances.
Yeah, and I mean he hasn't played in a few weeks. He wasn't lighting the world up when he was healthy anyway. They're 7.5-point favorites, so touchdown favorites at home. It feels pretty good. Yeah. I don't think they'll lose.
No. Yeah, hopefully, they win this one and they beat Green Bay on Thanksgiving. Win on Thanksgiving, God damn it.
Yeah, every time I watch Green Bay, they're bad. They're so bad.
They are, but there's just something about Thanksgiving that this team just always ends up just throwing up all over themselves.
Nope. Brand new Lions.
You're right.
All right.
You're right.
It's not the same. Like we can't have that mentality anymore.
I know. It's just it's tough. It's tough to let go, Matt, sometimes. Until you like that's the next thing that I need to see to be like, okay, we're good. You know. There's these milestones here.
I've already in my head the next milestone is the playoff. Like,
oh yeah.
we gotta win at home in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm focusing on, and I just can't get over the last. I mean, we've seen the last 2 games. The pass rush is just dead. They've got nothing. I really wish they would have made a move. I don't see how. Like I think the ceiling is first round playoff win.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they had any sort of pass rush, even if it wasn't from an acquisition, if the pass rush would have just been better, I feel like they'd be the legit Super Bowl contender that Romo just kept talking about on Sunday.
Right.
I just don't without another guy on that line. I just don't see how they have enough.
Bruce Irvin off the couch will come in and
right.
Something.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, I get it, but we rehashed that a couple weeks. We went over that a couple weeks ago. It is what it is. There's something else I was gonna say, and I don't remember what it was now. My it's not a fear. It makes me slightly uncomfortable. It looks like, unless Dobbs completely turns into a pumpkin, looks like Minnesota's probably going to get that 7 seed, which means we'll play them 3 times in 4 weeks.
Yeah,
and that's
always,
a lot. It's tough beating a team twice, but if they see you 3 times in a month, that's. I mean, it goes both ways, but still, that gives me some. Like I said, not really concerned, but it's not ideal.
Yeah, I also feel like Minnesota's got they got some tougher games coming up, don't they? I feel like they still have.
Probably. They got the resurgent Broncos this week.
Oh, buddy.
Watch
Let's
out.
go.
Watch
Russ is
out.
cooking.
Oh.
He's
Oh.
cooking.
I retract my retraction on my Josh Allen take. He
Yeah,
sucks.
sucks. He got Ken Dorsey fired, and Ken Dorsey was doing. They were the exact same offense statistically as they were with Brian Dabble for like the last 25 games of his career, and all of Dorsey's the numbers were the exact same, and he got him fired because he's dog shit.
Well, whoever's supposed to count the special teams is what really got him fired. Because if they win that game, they don't fire Ken Dorsey, but
Well,
someone can't count to 11.
did you see who man number 12 was too?
No.
It was DeMar Hamlin.
Was it really?
Yep.
That sucks.
He had to come in on that last drive, and Hamlin was the 12th man,
That's unfortunate.
which is yeah. The Vikings have the Broncos, but that's a road game. Broncos are hot. Then they got the Bears at home. Then they got to go to Vegas. Then they got to go to Cincy. Then they get us at home, Packers at home. Then they got to come to Ford Field. So they could lose 4 games still, 4 or 5 games the rest of the way.
Yeah, the only ones that outside of ours though, those the games against us that I'm really think that they should probably lose is the Cincy game. I mean,
they could lose to Denver.
Oh yeah,
Denver's defense is really good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked though if they went and beat Denver, either.
Right, but then also going on the road and beating the Raiders. The Raiders look like a completely different team.
True.
It's kind of the same thing. Like 2 weeks in a row, you're like, where were these guys?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm glad it happened after we played them.
Yeah. I was low key hoping Staley would get fired this week so you could be like, I called it.
Yeah, I think if that game would have continued how it was looking in the first quarter, I think he probably would have got fired. But because they were in it and all that,
that's interesting too. If we don't get stopped on that fourth down and on the first drive where we got down there, that could have turned into one of the Packers game where we get up 24-3 in the first 20 minutes of the game and it's over.
Yeah.
But alas, they could not find a way to stop Keenan Allen.
Who can really though?
I was telling Holly, when that guy's healthy, he's a top 5 receiver. He might be the most productive receiver in football when he's healthy. But he's like Calvin Johnson. He always has something. Always got something.
He got hurt 3 times in that game. Just in that game.
Right. And every time he came back, he caught a touchdown, it felt like. Yeah. Or a 30-yard pass or whatever.
All right. Anything else?
Metallica kicked ass.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you went to Metallica last week.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Oh, it lived up to expectations. I'd never seen them before. They're a bucket list of I wanted to see Metallica. I feel like I got Metallica. I didn't feel like I got the old version. Obviously, they're not the same guys as they were 25 years ago. That would have been awesome too. But I got a Metallica show. It was loud. It was angry. It was, hair standing up on my arms at point. It was a great show, man. And Pantera was awesome.
Yeah,
that was Zach Wilde. I didn't find out till afterwards. I think Zach Wilde's been playing with them on this tour, and I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, had no idea.
Yeah, Zach Wilde's playing guitar, and then Charlie Benante from Anthrax is playing drums.
Right. I didn't know all that until afterwards because I was like,
"Where have you been?"
Just not thinking about it, not
Fair. Fair.
And I was like, "Well, the show's going on." I'm like, "That looks like Zach Wilde." And then after the set, I pull up my phone. I'm like, "Yeah, well, goddamn, I'm an idiot. I would have been even more excited if I would have known that ahead of time."
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Did you get there in time to check out Mammoth?
I did not because traffic in downtown. Dude, I left my place at 4:00. They were supposed to hit the stage at 6. I'm like, that gives me plenty of time to get down there. Dude, it was 6:20 when I pulled into the parking garage.
Ugh.
I hit traffic all the way down. I hit back road traffic to 23. 23 is a mess right now. And then 94, I got stuck 3 or 4 times. And then getting into the city was just not the winter. The Pistons were playing that night. Someone said there was another show over at the Fox. Metallica was obviously playing Ford Field. That's 70,000 people.
Yeah.
It was madness downtown, and I didn't get there in time. It sucked too because that was kind of the tipping point of like, and I'd like to see Mammoth, but
yeah. So awesome. Well, that was good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I want to go to this the Sammy Hagar Van Halen
I saw that
tribute tour that they're putting together next next summer. I mean, the Hagar era is not my favorite. I'm definitely a original band. That's where my preferences lie, but there's some really good songs in that era. That
whatever,
man.
Let me know when the Gary Sharon Van Halen tribute comes along, because that's what I want to see.
Well, they're talking like, yeah, whatever city we're in, we'll have people come up. So it'd be great if they're in Boston and Gary gets up and sings one of the.
And for the record, I'm with you. I'm Van Halen original. I'm David Lee Roth. Like,
yes.
but the Hagar, they have great songs.
Oh, they definitely had more commercial success with Hagar.
Finish What You Started is a Hagar song.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Dreams.
Yeah.
Shout out closing credits of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. Yeah, no, there's Summer Nights. I saw they played some of that on Stern the other day. I'm like, that's a really good tune too. So yeah, no, there's no doubt there's good tunes. It's just sound music nerd stuff wise. Like, I just prefer the sound of the band during the Roth era as opposed to and even towards the end of the Roth era, it started getting a lot more keyboards, a lot more. Some of the balls, I guess, were starting to not be there as much. But oh well, I digress. But yeah, no, that sounds really really cool, and yeah, I might check that out. Though, dude, the Creed tickets sold out like. I couldn't believe it.
How?
If they're not sold out, they're damn close.
How?
Well,
is Creed really that popular?
So
really,
they were selling lawn seats for $20. So those all got bought up fast, and then there's like single seats in the pavilion, and they're all like more than I'm willing to pay to go see. As much as I love them, more than I'm willing to pay to go see Creed. So,
wait, you're willing to pay more than $20 to see Creed?
Well, yeah, but more than
speaking
20,
of
more than 20, less than 150.
Ew! Oh, ew! You couldn't get a Creed ticket for $150?
I don't remember. It was over 100. That's.
What? We used to be something as a country. What the hell? God, that's disappointing.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I was looking forward to that.
Speaking of bands reuniting, Silvertide's getting back together apparently for the 20th anniversary, baby. Apparently they signed with like a not a record label, like a talent agency, and they're putting together a tour. Nick Perry was showing he's relearning the guitar riffs and everything for shows and shit. Like they're doing like a little mini, and Michigan was one of their stops. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I'll drag you to the machine shop up in Flint, make you go see a Silver Tide show with me.
Nah, man. The new
Since
hot
our
place is that place in Wyandotte.
No, I want to go to the grimy, dirty, real sketchy machine shop. That's where our Seattle correspondent, his sister, ripped some girl's hair out of her in that place.
Nice.
And since he won't fly home for a Silvertide show, I'm going to need someone to go with me.
That's
So
fine. Yeah, no,
that'll
I'll
be
go.
you.
That's fine. I'll go. But,
Apparently, there's talks of them re-releasing the album on vinyl too, which would be cool for me.
Nice. Hell yeah. Those were the days.
20 years ago, dude.
We're old as shit.
We are so old. I can't believe, like, that was going through my head when I was reading all this stuff. Like that, I bought that album at the Adrian Mall back when the Adrian Mall was filled with stores. Like Hot Topic.
Yeah.
That was a thing here. Like,
yeah, shit. Sam Goody was probably still open at that point.
Yeah, that's where I got it. Because that was the only CD place, and I had to special order it. But that was the only place that I knew in town where you could, put your money down and they'd have it for you on the release date. And that means it's been 20 years since Duff McKagan signed my Guns N' Roses ticket, but he wouldn't sign my shoe for me.
Yeah. You got to draw the line somewhere, I guess.
Whatever. He signed some old woman's saggy boobs, not 30 seconds later, but apparently my shoe was too much.
It's like, I don't know. I can't come up with a good analogy.
Yeah, I get it. Get your stinky shoe out of my feet, kid, or out of my face, kid. Like, leave me alone. I get it.
So, all right, let's get out of here. Maybe we'll have a show next week. Maybe we won't. Who knows? But
yeah,
we'll tackle that later. We'll reach that decision when the time comes. But whether it's next week or the week after, until next time, everyone. See ya.